me the Southland Sword Bearer, but for my first video, I wanted it to be informal and for me to be in the car because it seems to help my thinking whenever I'm driving. I am in my dad's truck, a 2004 Chevrolet Silverado full cab. So pretty boring. Anyways, so I wanted to do a video explaining a little bit about myself. My name is Lawson Zaring. I am in the PCUSA, and I was also born in the PCUSA. A little bit about my faith journey. I didn't really know what it meant to be Presbyterian. I live in the bluegrass area of Kentucky, so my presbytery is mid-Kentucky, which is also our headquarters. So that means there is a lot of churches that do not really hold to the fundamentals of Christianity and stuff like that. If you're in Kentucky and need help finding a good church, please reach out and let me know. I'd love to help. Anyways, so I was born in the PCUSA, born and baptized, and it really became apparent when I was younger, around 13 and 14, that my Christianity really wasn't shaped by my Presbyterianism. I had a lot of non-denom tendencies, including liking worship music and listening to what was it? Go Fish, which is kind of a more contemporary style of music. And I really found out that I didn't know what it meant to be a Presbyterian, and I was young as well. But even when I was catechized, I didn't really know. I was catechized at the age of 12 and became an official member of my church, First Presbyterian Church in Shelbyville, Kentucky. And then later on, I actually became ordained as a deacon at the age of 14. So whenever you hear Richard say, or Redeemed Zoomer say, well, they do hand out leadership positions like candy, that's true. That is just blatantly true. I am still installed as a deacon in my church, and it's just blatantly true. I got that position when I was 12. And so anyways, but to continue on, I struggled with my faith, didn't really know what it meant to be a Presbyterian, went to college, experienced a broad spectrum of Christianity, and really didn't know what it meant to be historical, to be reformed, to know about the church fathers, etc. And slowly but surely, I started researching because it was interesting to me, and I'd never really thought about it before, but I started reading a little bit of the church fathers, kind of digging into Calvinism and what it means to be reformed, and if you'd believe it, I stumbled upon Redeemed Zoomer's videos. Pretty cool how that worked out. Well, I watched about everything I could of him, and I wondered, I have no clue what denomination this guy is. He makes a lot of good content. Well, if it would, be God's providence, he happened to be in the PCUSA, which is what I am. So I said, no way, that's so cool. He seems to be a little bit more traditional, which is something that I kind of liked as a young freshman in college. And I said, no way. And then he released his video about the Reconquista and Presbyterians for the Kingdom. And I said, no way, I'm sold. So I am one of the first members, which is kind of cool, of Presbyterians for the Kingdom. I think I joined when there was 30 or 40 of us. I joined the Discord server later, but I'm still bad with technology. Anyways, I really discovered that, and it really helped me learn what it meant to be a Presbyterian, because for my whole life, all I had experienced was liberal Christianity. And the two churches I go to are both liberal congregations. The pastors are probably more moderate liberal, but they are both fairly liberal congregations, and of course my presbytery is probably top 3 most liberal. So it really changed my life to say, wow, I have this community of people that think the same way as me. And then learning more about kind of the doctrine and the strategy of Presbyterians for the Kingdom, I became completely sold, and it's really been a blessing to me. I'm an English major right now at a small liberal arts school in Kentucky, and I plan on going to law school and eventually seminary. So keep me in your prayers for all that. But anyways, that's kind of where I am now. I'm in college. I'm in Synod 10 or Synod of the Living Waters, and the fellowship I have with the guys in my synod, especially David Kling and the Huntsville crew, has been unmatched. I really love it. And I also produce online content, so hopefully there will be more YouTube videos to come. My biggest platform, I guess, or the one I care most about, is on Instagram. It's bluegrass.presbyterian, so please check me out. Follow me if you don't mind. But anyways, if you have any questions about what it means to be in the PCUSA as a conservative, or what it means to be in Presbyterians for the Kingdom, please reach out. I love Presbyterians for the Kingdom. It is really a community and a fellowship of people that really love the gospel and really feel like our church is sick and needs healing. And it is such a blessing to me to see so many people that are united around one cause, and that cause happens to be spreading the gospel and doing the work of Christ. Now I am locked in on Reformed theology, reading the Church Fathers, reading Calvin. I'd consider myself probably an inspiring neo-Orthodox thinker, so I've been getting into Torrance recently. Really love Torrance. I love Karl Barth. And that's kind of my jam. That's kind of the vein of theology that I pull from. I pull from a rejection of scholasticism and natural theology, because I believe that in order for the Christian church to move and evolve, that we need to address the critiques of the German Enlightenment and kind of the questions asked by theological liberals. And really the only tradition that has not just straight up rejected the presuppositions of the German Enlightenment philosophy is neo-Orthodoxy. And so I do see a lot of fulfillment in that strain of thinking when we think about God as free, as independent of our system, but still working through it as not bound to any laws that we ourselves are imposed upon. I really find that freeing in the way we think. And it helps address criticisms of the modern world. So that's kind of a little bit about who I am. If you have any questions, please reach out. Mostly on my Instagram DMs would be the best way to reach out to me. If you're in the state of Kentucky and you need to find a local PCUSA church, please let me know. I would love to hook you up with that. God bless the Reconquista, or Operation Reformation as it's been renamed. God bless Presbyterians for the Kingdom, and God bless you all.